All right, now the big news of the day yesterday, by the way, that made people question Elon's integrity. You've all heard about this, that apparently Elon buckled to the pressure of the corrupt Brazilian judiciary and agreed to take down the accounts that he was previously ordered to take down, that he refused to take down because he was arguing that it violated the law to take down the accounts. It was illegal censorship. And news was breaking out of the New York Times, which is to be taken with a grain of salt, claiming that Elon Musk has now bowed to the pressure. And I'm conflicted in who I believe, because I do not believe the New York Times, and I believe that they look for any excuse to try to make Elon Musk look like a hypocrite, to cause Elon Musk to fall out of the good graces of the far-right Trump-supporting crowd. And one way to do that is to make him look like a hypocrite on free speech. And yet I read the article, and I also trust a gentleman named Paulo Figueiredo. He's actually referenced in this New York Times article. I had him on the channel. He's the grandson of a Brazilian president from the 80s. And he had to flee Brazil after Bolsonaro was voted out of office, after Luna took office. And I trust Paulo Figueiredo, and he is disappointed, apparently, in what Elon has done in Brazil, which seems to be bowing to the pressure and the demands of Moraes, the judge who looks like a caricature of a villain out of a movie. The article, Elon backs down in Brazil in an abrupt reversal. The social media's lawyer said it was complying with court orders that it had previously defied. Brazil's Supreme Court could allow the site to return next week. After defying court orders in Brazil for 3 weeks, X has capitulated. In the court filing on Friday night, the company's lawyers said that X had complied with the orders from Brazil's Supreme Court in the hopes that the court would lift a block on the website. You do recall, Moraes ordered that Elon take down, censor far-right accounts. They were using their disinformation, misinformation, promotion of violence excuse as well. It seems that the judiciary is the ultimate arbiter, pun intended, of everything in Brazil. There are multiple justices on the judiciary, but Moraes seems to be the tyrant number one, who is supported by the other members of the judiciary. They ordered Twitter to take down, censor certain accounts, failing which they would fine them millions of dollars a day, I think $1 million a day. And Elon came out and said, I'm not doing this because this is illegal. This violates free speech principles, et cetera, et cetera. And he was defiant. They blocked X for a little bit. And I think people were accessing it via Starlink. And it looks like he's reversed course. You can blame and you can be disappointed, and you can actually have a little bit more appreciation and respect for how true to his word Chris Pavlovsky, the CEO of Rumble, is. Decision was a surprise move by Musk, who owns and controls X. He said after he said he would refuse to obey illegal orders, Musk had dismissed local employees and refused to pay fines. The court responded by blocking X across Brazil last month. X said that they had done exactly what Musk vowed not to: take down the accounts of Brazilian justice, ordered removed because the judge said they threatened Brazil's democracy. Coming to America if Kamala Harris and Tim No Balls Walls are elected. X also complied with the justice's other demands, including paying fines and naming a new formal representative in the country. Remember that Moraes said he was going to arrest Twitter employees, and then they blocked Twitter in the country. What do I think would have been the better move? Cause an uproar, cause protests that would result from banning something that the Brazilian people want and need, and hope that the media gets on your side. If you ban a utility, I'm calling it utility in quotes, not legally, a utility that even the left-wing communist media needs. The abrupt about-face appeared to defeat the outspoken businessman in the self-designed image as a warrior of free speech. Mr. Musk and his company loudly criticized Brazil's Supreme Court for months, even publicly releasing some of its sealed orders, but neither had publicly mentioned the reversal by Saturday morning. The longer X remained blocked, the more Mr. Musk risked losing market share and revenue, problematic for the company that has alienated many American advertisers by allowing users to say just about anything on the website. Oh, my goodness, these idiots haven't been on YouTube in a while. Another Musk-controlled company, the satellite internet service provider Starlink, was also caught in the crossfire. Brazil's Supreme Court took $2 million from Starlink in Brazil to cover the fines it had issued against X. Paulo Figueiredo, and if you don't know him, go check him out. He's amazing. Mr. Musk, quote, has bowed down, end quote. Paulo Figueiredo, a right-wing pundit who had his X account blocked in Brazil, wrote in a post on Thursday when X first hired new lawyers in Brazil, signaling a shift in its stance. Quote, it's a very sad day for freedom of expression. A day later, Mr. Figueiredo said he understood Mr. Musk's stance, quote, and appreciates his efforts. And now Justice Moraes, that's the guy, has become one of Brazil's most polarizing figures since the nation's Supreme Court granted him broad authority to order tech companies to take down content that he deems a threat to Brazil's institutions. Since 2019, he's ordered social networks to take down at least 300 accounts according to a New York Times analysis of a portion of his court orders which have been leaked or released publicly. For more than half of those accounts, Justice Moraes did not provide details in the orders for why they should be taken down. He has generally issued such orders under seal, but the Times analyzed orders published by ex-U.S. congressman, whatever. He takes down accounts that attack Brazil's democratic institutions. Does that sound familiar, people? It is coming to America sooner than later if Tim No Balls Walls, Tampon Tim, and Commie Kamala get to power. I mean, you see it happening in Canada now as we speak. They pass legislation that facilitates the algorithmic prioritizing of trusted news sources that basically institutionally protects the institutional media while institutionally not outlawing, but penalizing, downgrading, demoting alternative media, and criminalizing speech through all sorts of legislation. And it is the slow walk to tyranny across the globe. And America is the last bastion of it. Hate speech, you got Tim Walz saying you don't have freedom of speech for misinformation and disinformation. The vast majority of misinformation and disinformation actually comes from the government. You got others saying hate speech is not free speech. And you want to look at where that goes, and you can look up to Canada. At least on paper, they were talking about locking people away for life if you advocated, promoted genocide, however you define those terms. You get from Bill C-16, which criminalizes, which adds to the criminal code, gender identity as aggravating factors for certain crimes. And Jordan Peterson back in 2016, 2017, sounding the alarm that this was going to result in compelled speech. Flash forward 8 years, and Jordan Peterson is having to go through re-education camp for mean tweets that he put on Twitter. It is coming to America, and not in the good Eddie Murphy movie sense. And you want to see how it's coming to America and how discreetly and insidiously it comes to America. Well, you have your talking head propagandist late night quote comedy, which is nothing but Nazi level propaganda, importing it by platforming. And I do say, I'm not saying that they shouldn't platform Justin Trudeau. I'm just illustrating how this trickles in to the zeitgeist of the American experience. When you have that filthy, blackface wearing, woman groping, 2 times ethics breaching, scoundrel scumbag of a prime minister given prime time to plant that seed of ideology in American discourse. Listen to this. He was on Colbert. I haven't seen the entire interview, but listen to this.
The far right and flirtations with fascism, at the very least, is rising across the globe. Even in Canada, your Conservative Party leader, your opponent there, has been called Canada's Trump. And I'm sorry about that. But I'm curious why at least some form of nativism or far-right xenophobia might grow in a country even as polite as Canada. Why do you think this is getting a foothold even in your country?
I would pause it right there. Canada is superficially polite. And it's superficially polite because people are polite when you follow their rules. And then the second you do something that they don't like, all of a sudden not so polite. You know what I would prefer? I would prefer the brashness of American tolerance than the superficiality of the politeness of Canadian intolerance. Oh, yes. Good morning, sir. Oh, what's that? You're not social distancing in the park? What's that? You clipped the zip tie on the swings? I'm going to have to go call in the police because, yes. Superficial politeness. Listen to what this scumbag says.
That phrase, even in Canada, I mean, we're not some magical place of unicorns and rainbows all the time. We got more than our fair share. But like the things that we've managed to do, we've had to work really, really hard at. I mean, universal healthcare was, decades of trying to bring people together and make it happen.
Universal healthcare, that broken system of universal healthcare in Canada that has now led to the government euthanizing record numbers of Canadians because, they won't say it, although studies show that it will actually save the healthcare system some money. Universal healthcare, where you can't get a GP for, I won't go into all of that. Yeah, universal healthcare. It sounds good as a word. Go to Canada, people, and see how good it works in practice.
We've moved forward on world-leading
Move forward. We move forward. Does that sound familiar? It's absolutely forward together, Kamala. It's absolutely amazing. It's just amazing. Like I feel crazy just listening to it. Forward is the campaign slogan for Kamala. Not going back, forward. And you got Justin. Is it an accident that all of these world leaders, these commie fascist dictators, are using the same terminology?
Fight against climate change with a price on pollution. We're moving forward with dental care for low-income Canadians. We're moving forward with $10 a day childcare. These are things that we have to fight for and that are really hard to do, but you can bring people together around thoughtful ideas, and you can also lose those things too. I mean, there's a big argument right now about whether dental care even exists. We've delivered it to 700,000 people across the country, and my opponent is gaslighting us and saying, "Oh, dental care doesn't even exist yet."
Oh my goodness. It's like you connect dots in real time, and it makes you feel even crazier than you've already gone. Yeah, so that's what's coming out of Canada, and it's coming to America. And it's coming up from Brazil. It's coming across from France. And my question is, back to what Elon Musk's reversal indicates, in the wake of the arrest of Pavel Durov from Telegram. It's funny, we haven't heard much about Pavel Durov recently. Telegram's Pavel Durov announces a new crackdown on illegal content after arrest. Platform with millions of subscribers discloses a more proactive approach to reporting infringes to authorities. Telegram founder and chief executive Pavel Durov said on Monday that the messaging platform had removed more, quote, problematic content, end quote, and would take a more proactive approach to complying with government requests. Nothing like getting arrested and detained to really make you do what the government is asking of you. I mean, I think P. Diddy is probably getting the same treatment right now. So you got Pavel Durov arrested. Not that I'm connecting dots that aren't connected. Pavel Durov arrested. Pavel Durov subsequently, recently, within the last 24 hours, saying they're going to crack down and comply with government requests. And then you've got Elon Musk seemingly buckling in Brazil, taking down accounts. And freedom, who was it that said it? Which one of those far-right extremist senile presidents said it? Freedom is never one generation away from extinction. Pretty sure it was Ronald Reagan.